I got labeled as difficult because I said one word, and that was no. Now, I said no to some very powerful people.
So, Nick opened up about how she was labeled difficult just because she said no to some big offers from people like Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Lionsgate. It's wild. But it didn't end there. She actually confronted Oprah after feeling betrayed and dealing with the fallout of being blacklisted. It makes you wonder what really went down behind the scenes.
In front of the others.
In front of the others, and they let everybody know what you don't want is that type of ass whooping.
Right.
So what they said was, we're gonna be—
Hey Oprah, if you called me today, I'd be there in a heartbeat. I'd bring Shannon Sharp and we'd sit down and have a real heart-to-heart conversation with you. Honestly, I need you to know that I still have so much love and respect for you, Oprah. In our family, we think of you as one of us, a sister we've admired for years. But lately, it feels like we're missing you. The door's open, and we're here, waiting with the lights on for you to come back. It's been hard to watch. For a while now, I've seen how things have played out, especially for Black women in the industry, and how some of them seem to get thrown under the bus. You were always someone I looked to for strength, someone who lifted others up. But when a Black woman, a peer, someone from our own community, has been down, I didn't see you speaking up for her. It's confusing and painful. At first, I tried to approach you directly. I reached out, hoping for a private moment, a real conversation just between us. I thought we could reconnect and get to the bottom of things the way we used to. But the response was, well, there wasn't really a response. Suddenly, you seemed like you were out of reach. Like the Oprah we used to know was now this global icon who was too busy, too occupied to take a moment to address these things. And I get it. You're Oprah, and the demands on you are beyond anything most people could understand. But at the same time, I feel like I owe it to myself and to those who've been hurt to speak up now. Monique, in particular, has been vocal about her feelings toward you. She's shared openly how much it hurt her to feel let down, to feel like she was left to fend for herself. For her, the struggle goes beyond career setbacks. It cuts deep. She's spoken about how, as a Black woman in Hollywood, she thought you would have her back. Monique wanted to believe that someone as influential as you would understand the unique challenges she faced, the way that she, as a Black woman, was singled out and, at times, silenced. And I think there are many who relate to that. They wonder why, at times, you haven't been there for those who expected you to be. It raises a bigger question. What has really been happening behind the scenes? What choices were made, and why? It's tough for me to think that someone as strong and as trailblazing as you could watch as others were hurt and stay silent. But I'm saying this now because I still believe in the Oprah I used to know. I believe that you're someone who does care, who can make a difference. This isn't about resentment or anger. It's about hoping that we can get back to what really matters. I hope one day soon we can sit down and have that conversation, not just for us, but for everyone who looks up to you and feels like they need to see that you're still in their corner. We're here, the door's open, and we'd love to see the real Oprah come back to us.
You're here. Why would I bring something that I know that you don't want to talk about? You lived it.
In her Netflix comedy special, Monique really laid it all out there. She talked about the big differences in her career compared to other comedians, like Amy Schumer, who are snagging huge deals, like $101 million. It's wild. Monique even asked how Oprah could just sit back and let another Black woman get thrown under the bus over a lie. She's made it super clear. She's not backing down and is ready to stand up for what's right.
Thank you for staying up late with us here on The Factor Uncensored. We have a great program for you, as we do every night.
Monique is really letting it all out when it comes to her feelings about Tyler Perry. They've had quite the feud over the years. She's been vocal about how both Tyler and Oprah blackballed her from Hollywood. And even though she apologized to them back in February, it looks like there's still some unresolved tension. In tonight's episode of The Factor Uncensored, we're going to see the Oscar-winning actress and comedian dive deep into this long-standing rivalry. During her latest comedy show, Monique didn't hold back. She really expressed her frustrations. "Trust me, you won't want to miss this." She shared her hope for Oprah to return to her roots, wanting to see the real Oprah that fans can connect with again.
Toward both Oprah and Tyler Perry, she went in on the icons during a recent comedy performance. Take a look.
You know, as Monique opened up about her feelings towards these two big icons, it became pretty clear that her hurt runs deep. It left a lot of us wondering, is this just obsession, or is she having a cathartic moment? Some critics are saying she really needs to clarify her accusations instead of keeping her audience guessing about what went down to create this rift. I mean, she's throwing out Oprah's name, Tyler's name, Lee's name, and even Lion's name. If she was talking about all this over a decade ago, and I definitely remember that. What does it mean for today? You can feel the tension in the air, and fans are left curious about what's really behind her words.
Now some got scared. It was like, you're going too far, bitch. I love that black raggedy bitch.
Monique is such a powerhouse for women in comedy, and honestly, a lot of people really admire her for that. But here's the thing. There's been a lot of chatter lately that her current approach might be pushing audiences away, instead of uniting them with laughter. I've heard from folks who've attended her shows, and they're feeling a bit uncomfortable, really wanting some lighthearted humor rather than the heavy grievances she's been sharing. This shift has definitely caught people's attention and sparked some discussions about finding a better balance in her performances. Let's face it, this change has taken a hit on her career, and you can see it in her finances too. Some industry experts are even saying the damage might be so significant that bouncing back could be tough. It's like she's just venting her frustrations while waiting for something to give. Sure, comedy often comes from pain, but doctors and industry insiders emphasize the need to find the humor in those tough moments. Unfortunately, it seems like Monique's style is coming off more as venting than real comedy. So what do you think this means for her future on stage? A fellow comedian pointed out that Monique's bitterness isn't just about personal drama. It's also tied to some serious professional setbacks that have hit her hard financially. They really think her nonstop chase for recognition and validation in this tough industry is adding fuel to the fire. So what do you think is really happening here?
You're saying Oprah's name out loud. You're saying Tyler's name out loud. You're saying Lee's name out loud. You're saying Lionsgate.
So when Dr. Angela Jones jumped in, she really emphasized how important context is in Monique's comedy. I mean, her feelings are totally valid, no doubt about that. But it seems like a lot of folks in the audience are having a hard time connecting with her story because they're missing some backstory. Dr. Jones pointed out, you know the price for it, but I don't think she's wrong. She's obviously still working through it, and she'll keep bringing it up until it gets the attention it deserves. I saw some comments from people who went to the show, and they felt pretty uncomfortable listening to her grievances. Like for them, it just wasn't comedy at all. As we wrapped up the discussion, we shifted focus to those who struggle to let go of past grievances. Dr. Jones had some great advice, talking about how important it is to process emotions in a healthy way. She reminded us that feeling hurt or angry is completely natural, but it's all about how we express those feelings. Ideally, we want it to uplift and empower us, right? So what do you think? Is it time for Monique to find that balance in her act?
And every time you see you see gay. Best friends. Is what they say. I've never seen best friends.
All right, so here's how it went down. Monique was like, guys, I'm spending time with my family, so I'm gonna pass. And everyone seemed totally cool with it. She really thought Oprah and the producers had her back. But turns out, not so much. When the campaign started, things got tricky. Mo started talking about the unreasonable demands coming her way. It wasn't just work. It was personal. She even said she felt blackmailed at one point, offered deals that she declined just so she could prioritize family time. Now picture this. If Oprah had actually said, "I'ma bring your mama on the show," Monique would have shut it down immediately. I don't need the world seeing my mama act greedy. Shut it down. And then Barbara Walters came into the picture. Apparently, Barbara was the first one they asked to host Monique's family, and she refused. She told Mo straight up, "I won't do that to you." That's why Monique points to Barbara like, "See, she didn't betray me. She's got values I respect." Here's where it gets real, though. Monique thinks that because Oprah is also black, Oprah should have shown her that same loyalty. But she didn't, and that betrayal still stings for her. So, after all this, Monique and her husband went on Periscope, straight up addressing the backlash from people who said she should apologize. They shared how frustrating it's been for Mofo to be pressured to apologize to Oprah, and they demanded a little transparency. Let's hear the real story behind their complicated history. All right, here we go. The weekend is here, so I'm giving you all the hot topics you need to keep the conversation flowing. When you're at someone's house and the chatter dies down, bring this up. Trust me, it's gold. Now, let's get into this moment that left us all shocked. Wendy Williams once shared how Oprah actually invited Monique's family onto her show without even telling Mo beforehand. Can you believe it? Imagine her shock when she realized her brother, the one she accused of molesting her, was there with her estranged mom and dad. No wonder she felt blindsided. Wendy doesn't hold back either. She totally gets why Mo was furious, and she questions whether the show crossed an ethical line here. Monique's definitely not staying quiet. Remember that fiery stand-up where she called out Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Oprah? She didn't hold back, accusing them of blackballing her after Precious, which stirred up a lot of buzz. But things didn't just stop there. Afterward, Monique confronted Oprah about that unexpected family reunion, which caught her completely off guard. Oprah claimed she didn't know Monique's estranged family members would show up, but that didn't exactly smooth things over. Wendy shared her 2 cents on the situation, hinting that this incident has probably had a lasting impact on Monique's career and personal life. Monique later made it clear this wasn't just a one-time story she suddenly decided to share. She's actually included her experiences with Oprah, Lee, and Tyler in her stand-up routine for a while now. It just happened to be caught on camera that night at the Apollo. Let's be real, though. Who isn't recording everything these days? As Monique continues to share her story, Wendy suggests maybe there's a way to handle all this without going too public. With so much talent and a future still ahead, Wendy thinks Monique might find more peace channeling her story into a new project. And in the end, Wendy hopes Monique gets the resolution and calm she's looking for as she keeps moving forward.
Your thoughts on this?
Honestly, when I saw that clip, I was like, oh, Lord, not again.
Wendy wraps it up with a heartfelt reminder about how powerful personal stories can be. She's cheering Monique on, encouraging her to focus on healing and growth as she moves forward. And she leaves us with something to think about. Speaking your truth is important, but finding the right time and place to share it, that's what really makes it count.